The world devolved into chaos as the clan cats witnessed unusual actions of the two legs. The cats tried to avoid them, but it didn't stop strange things from happening. First, there were strange monsters rolling around, far larger and stranger looking than others, sometimes even decimating portions of the territories. Then there came explosions that just flattened out even more of the land. Many cats and other creatures became displaced during this time, and even the clans were nearly pushed to leave. But they remained, hoping everything would balance out. Unfortunately, that was only the beginning. StarClan took note of the disturbance of the stars and warned the clans of great change coming, though they were unsure what it would entirely be. Not even a full moon after this warning, the stars shot to the earth, followed soon by waves of unpredictable hot and cold temperatures. There were many things happening that none of them could make sense of, but the end results were clear. There were 6 clans at the very beginning. However, with the many events and disasters, these clans have been shrunk down into 1. Very few cats survived as the clans finally decided to flee to a safer land, only for many to be killed by starvation, extreme weather changes, mutations that worked against them, radiation, and more. Now, a few surviving cats are attempting to rebuild. The clan has yet to be named as they have been focusing on simply surviving. And it takes a little bit to figure out a name when there were 6 and now they must unite to 1. If they can rebuild the other clans one day, they don't know, but they will try. Starting things off, we have Shadestar. She had been deputy through the worst of the events, and the only one of the leaders and deputies to survive. Due to this, StarClan blessed her as the leader of the new clan, granting her the 9 lives in hopes of her living long enough to get the new clan established, before all traces of their history and ways of life are entirely lost. One of the reasons she's been the one to survive so long is that she developed an unusual ability for magic. It's quite simple and limited, but has been enough to help turn the tides in a few situations that allowed her to save and care for several young cats. At the start of this year, Shadestar spends some time thinking about the dreams she's had, convinced that StarClan has been trying to communicate with her. She hasn't been able to make sense of what she remembers of the dreams, but she does her best to put the pieces together as she's able to. She's also quite eager to find a safe place to make their new home, as the others come to learn why rather quickly. He's expecting kits, which she kept hidden from all the other cats as long as she was able to, and even ignored it herself for some time, as she was pushing to put the clan first. However, eventually she could ignore no more and gave birth to 4 kits. Fun fact, the kits, their father is actually the deputy from one of the other clans before, all the other leaders and deputies died. From there, things started to fall into a steady rhythm of a new way of life. She often leaves her kits in the care of the medicine cat so that she can go out and hunt as well as train young Dustpaw. During the 3rd moon in this new home, some poison prey was brought back to camp, which resulted in the death of one of the other cats, as well as taking one of Shadestar's lives. This caused her to become more wary of strange scents and is determined to protect others, prevent any further deaths. This meant that prey became very scarce for a short time, as they became very careful as to what all got brought in, and were very quick to take out anything that smelt even slightly off to try and prevent any more lives being lost. During the middle of the year, it was mostly spent planning how to better care for her clan, raise and train her kids, and encourage others. And, in the midst of it all, she realized spirits needed to be kept up, so she began to practice singing. This is something that clan cats would do on occasion, but, they never really did a whole lot with it. But now in the new land, she decided they needed to start some new traditions and new things to keep spirits up. And so, the one way she could think of doing was to sing. Near the end of the year, while out on patrol with Twigpaw, they stumbled across two cats who were struggling to survive. The one cat seemed to be partially covered in plant growth and struggling to even acknowledge anyone or anything. But thanks to their partner speaking up, Shadestar decided to give them a chance in the hopes that the medicine cat might be able to help. However, after a month of watching things unfold, it becomes clear to Shadestar that this cat with a growth is beyond help. She makes a tough decision to banish the cat from the clan in order to protect the others. She's not willing to risk her family's health, and that is where things end for her. Despite this decision, none of the cats hate her for it. So, it seems everyone was a little on edge anyway and are willing to support her decision to try to keep them all safe. There is no deputy, so we are jumping straight to the medicine cat, who starts off the year as Brightpaw and is the only surviving medicine cat. He was an apprentice for a single moon before StarClan decided he'd been working hard enough that he was worthy of gaining his full moon the moment he turned 12 moons. Typically, medicine cats tend to wait for their full names until they're between 14 to 18 moons old. However, with this special situation, Brightpaw became a full medicine cat at 12 moons, which he, of course, had no complaints about and earned the name of Bright Bite. He's often seen working hard, trying to find herbs wherever they go. With the land and plants having changed due to all the events going on, it's hard to tell which plants are herbs and which plants could just be poisonous, what could be useful for other things, and so on and so forth. Despite this, he doesn't stop trying every single plant he finds and figuring out what its uses could be. His hard work and dedication to the clan's survival tends to also lead to him spending many nights sleepless. It gets to the point that he's told to take some time off and rest, which he usually tries to protest against. He has a decent relationship with all the kits that come into the clan, as he helps with tending to them whenever Shadestar and the apprentices go out to hunt and defend their little family. When the sick cat is brought into the camp that has that plant growth, he was immediately shocked and rather perplexed by what sort of condition the cat had. There seemed to be plants growing from the fur, black ooze leaking from wounds, and the scent of death and sickness clinging to their fur. He was wary of the other cats with a nearly lifeless look in their eyes, but did what he could to try to help. He's never one to turn away a sick cat. With a limited herb supply, he just doesn't have what's needed and felt rather frustrated with himself for not being able to help the cat before Shadestar made the hard decision to remove them from the camp. In the quiet moments outside of healing cats and tending to kits, Bright Bite has a little secret. He found a she-cat that he became rather smitten with at a nearby river. She's unusual with the fish-like features she sports, and they quickly grow close. Before long, kits come along. He brings the two little ones back to the clan, claiming he found them, similar to the other orphans that the clan has taken in. No one questions this. A moon later, however, he once again brings 3 other kits back to camp with the same claim. Thing is, he found another she-cat that was performing some simple magic, which he was rather amazed by, and he put on the charm. He soon, developed a fling with this cat. He actually had a fling with 2 separate she-cats at the same time, and they each were on opposite sides of this new territory they were starting to form. However, this other she-cat with the magic didn't survive giving birth to his kits, and so they were brought to the clan as well. And that's where the year ends for Bright Bite. A father of 5 kits who are only a month or 2 apart in age, and he is not revealing this to the clan. He is keeping this a secret, as he knows it is an old tradition that medicine cats are not to have kits, and he's broken that rule twice in a very short time span. But he is able to get away with this, as he does tend to all the kits in general anyway. So, what's a couple more to take care of? He gets to be a bit of a father figure in their life regardless. that is where things end for Brightbite this year. Next, we have the two cats that are new to the clan that joined together. They both took on clan names, being Teasel Skitter and Weasel Light. They joined near the end of the year. They were loners who met out on the road and traveled around together for some time, even began to consider becoming mates. However, they ran into some bad luck as they encountered a cat acting quite strange, along with the fact they seemed to have plants growing out of their fur and honestly barely even resembling a cat much anymore. This stranger attempted to attack Teasel Skitter, but Weasel Light jumped in, protecting her. He got bitten as a result, but was able to kill the other cat before they were hurt further. The next few weeks and moons became an increasing challenge, as Weasel Light began to grow sick with a strange new illness. Teasel Skitter stayed by his side and cared for him the best that she could. And when they ran into the clan, she was relieved at the potential of help from a dedicated healer. It was devastating when Weasel Light's condition worsened to the point that the leader chose to send him off. Teasel nearly went with him, but he had a brief moment of mental clarity where he told Teasel Skitter to stay. He was safe here, and that was his goal the whole time, was to keep her safe. So with the support of the clan and his words, Teasel Skitter agreed to stay with the clan, while Weasel Light was escorted out of the territory and sent on his way to face whatever was left to face of the life that he now had. Next, we have Butterfly Flip, who started the journey off as a kit. He was one of the few kits that Shadestar was able to protect from the various disasters going on as the world altered around them. As a kid, he dealt with the trauma of losing everyone by acting out and often getting into trouble. He got into many arguments with Shadestar due to it, but despite it, she still was there for him as a steady force of comfort. When he became an apprentice, he finally started to realize that the leader would always be there to support him and was at no fault for him losing his family. Slowly, he stopped antagonizing her and instead began to try to be as helpful as he could to ensure their little family would survive. Most of the year he spent as an apprentice, and throughout it, he was often seen entertaining the kids to allow others a break, offering a listening ear to other clanmates, and even aided the medicine cat in minor tasks such as removing thorns from paws and fetching herbs. Due to all his hard work, he was made a full warrior at 11 moons old, and so far, he's taken this role very seriously and determined to be a force for good to keep others safe. Earning the name of Butterfly Flip due to his ability to flip between different roles and tasks as needed. Next, we have the kits that Shadestar had at the start of the year. These cats are only 2 moons younger than Butterfly Flip for reference as well. First, we have Twigstripe. As a kit, she was most often heard complaining about the heat as New Leaf brought warmer temperatures, or was seen attempting to climb every large rock or tree she could get her paws on, and most often seen hanging out with her sister Kestrel Kit. As an apprentice, she was always encouraging her siblings that they were doing their best and that always be more than enough. She's a kind soul amongst the chaos, which really shines through when she's noticed tending to even the smallest of creatures. As unknown to her, Shadestar often noticed how she'd heal injured bugs, even once let a bird escape when she realized it had a nest with newly hatched chicks. Twigpaw was also there with Shadestar when they encountered Weasel Light and Teasel Skitter for the first time. She was horrified at the condition the one cat was in, but was determined that they had to try to help him and was part of the deciding factor in allowing these strangers into camp. She worked with Brightbite to try to heal this cat by helping in finding whatever herbs that they could, and was devastated when Shadestar ultimately exiled the sick cat. She used these events to really motivate herself to improve her skills, both as a warrior and learn some basic healing abilities, so that she could be of better help the next time they encountered a strange or sick cat. This hard work and dedication to helping everyone earned her warrior name of Twigstripe at the age of 10 moons. Just as the year is ending, the last thing she's caught doing by one of her siblings is sneaking herbs to a sick cat outside of their little territory. And that is where things end for precious little Twigstripe. The next young cat is Spindlepurr. He is the only tomcat in the litter from Shadestar and takes the role of brother very seriously. He is often protecting his sisters and doing his best to always support them, though that doesn't mean he doesn't pull pranks and annoy them as well. But it's a thing he often says only he's allowed to do and no one else. As a kid, he was also seen acting a little strange from time to time, with the most notable moment being when he began drawing strange symbols in the dirt, which was most often done after it had rained. No one really asked about this, but it's the sign that he's not entirely a normal cat. He's inherited the magical traits from Shadestar, though it seems his is tied to perhaps writing. As an apprentice, he is often asking how to do things and then going out and doing them without being asked, such as collecting moss, being a listening ear and a voice of reason for others, as well as hunting for food as much as possible during the times where there is little to go around. And finally, he became a warrior at 11 moons old, earning his name due to his insight and calm, steady presence as he supports everyone to the best of his abilities. Blossom Paw is another one of Shadestar's kits. She's a bit of a nuisance as a kit, as she gets in the way a lot, as well as being rather clumsy. She's often in a hurry to do one thing after another. She also isn't always very good at picking up on social cues, as she unintentionally insults other cats from time to time. That takes others explaining why what she said was hurtful, and when she does understand, she's very quick to apologize. During her first moon as an apprentice, she had the misfortune of running into a strange creature that looked like it had once been a badger. She was out with two of her siblings during this, and while protecting them, had her tail become rather injured, causing her to be stuck in camp for the next little while to heal. She's okay with this, as the other two barely got any scrapes, which healed quickly. About halfway through her time as an apprentice, Blossom Paw also began to have strange dreams of a dark land. As it turns out, the dark forest is calling out to her. She doesn't even hesitate to begin exploring this new side of the spiritual world, and even begins to talk to others about it. As it turns out, a few other cats have also been approached by the dark forest as well, which spurs on the curiosity of it. At the end of the year, she's seen often helping out Brightbite with prepping herbs and taking lessons from him. On top of that, she also is often helping around camp with repairing dens, building nests, and keeping the camp generally clean. She doesn't earn her warrior name just yet, as she was slowed in her training due to her injury, but she's assured that she'll be a warrior very soon. Kestrel Paw is the final kit from Shadestar's first litter. She's the only other one to inherit the magical abilities from their mother, though she doesn't use it much at all. As a kit, she's often noticed to be insulting other cats and generally being a bit of a beast and annoying others. She also asks any and all questions that come to mind with no care of how odd they may sound or how awkward they make others feel, as well as giving out rather questionable advice. Once she's an apprentice, she's always trying to learn something new and improve on what she does know. Despite her rough personality, Twigpaw is the one to see the good hidden within, and the two do become rather close. While Kestrelpaw would never admit it outright, she has developed a soft spot for her sister. Towards the end of the year, she's out on a walk with Shadestar, having some bonding time together when they're suddenly attacked by a strange mutated creature. Due to the surprise, the creature is able to get a hold of Kestrelpaw by her tail and begins to attempt turning her into a meal. Shadestar wastes no time in attacking the strange creature and freeing her kit. This is when Kestrelpaw sees the wrath of a mother in full, as Shadestar seems to fight with all of StarClan, driving away this creature with barely a scratch on her own pelt. From there, Kestrelpaw's rushed back to camp to get treated, but ends the year struggling against a growing infection that's leaving her dazed and rather out of it. Now we get to move on to the kits of the clan. First up, we have Ripple Kit, who is one of the three that were found by Brightbite and brought back to the clan. Despite being the oldest of the siblings, she's the smallest and has had trouble moving around, leading the medicine cat to be concerned about her health and survival chance. However, despite her physical limits, she proves to have a strong mind as she's firm on not spreading or tolerating rumors that happen to pass around the small clan about other cats. She also tries hard to be friends with everyone and looks up to Spindlepur the most, though struggles to figure out how to talk to him. He's also often seen playing with mushrooms that others were at first confused about where she was finding them, only to realize she was the one growing them herself. It appears she was born with the magical ability of growing mushrooms, or at least that's how the clan views her at the moment. Next we have Pond Kit. She is known for being rather secretive to the point that no one is aware of anything she does. She hears and sees everything. There are moments she unsettles others as she practically appears to just suddenly be next to a cat without having been noticed or heard coming up. She doesn't really get up to much as she's more focused on just absorbing everything around her. And then there is Fish Kit, the boldest of her siblings. Fish Kit is known for being fearless and quite outgoing. She's more than makes up for any quietness of Pond Kit. She also often is seen as the ringleader of all the kits in the nursery as she instigates play fights, making up new rules for the other kids to follow, and isn't afraid to speak up for herself or any of the others if she thinks they're being overlooked. Next, we move on to the first litter of kits that Brightbite brings back that are his own. Despite the mother of these two kits being a water-type cat with fish-like features and abilities, these two kits appear entirely normal. Any water-related abilities have yet to show themselves, but these kits are also only 2 moons old when the year ends. The first kit of this litter is Copper Kit. He's good at keeping secrets, and so far has proven to be a helpful kit as he's brought herbs back to the nursery when others are feeling a little unwell. And then the other kit is Crocus Kit. He has not had a chance to get up to anything as he quickly develops green cough and is still sick as the year ends. And then the final few kits of Brightbite are the 3 that he brings back, who honestly have next to nothing known about them just yet, as the year ends with them being barely a moon old. All that we do know on them so far is that we have Owl Kit, a little Tom who has not inherited any magic and is quite a normal little kit. Then is Day Kit, who's a little she-cat, and she has not gotten any magical abilities either. And then finally we have Lark Kit, another little she-cat, also having no magic. It seems that Brightbite's just normal cat type is dominating the genes of all of his kits at this point. And now we end the year with the dead cats, which is just little Dustpaw. He's the only cat that died during the first year after getting settled into the new home. She started the year becoming an apprentice and quickly showed great promise in being a great hunter. Unfortunately, the following moon, her hunting skills were the result in her catching tainted prey, which made her and other cats sick. Due to being the one having caught and then carried out the contaminated prey with Shadestar, her overexposure to it cost her her life, became violently ill and couldn't recover and passed soon after. And that, unfortunately, is the short life of Dustpaw. And so that wraps up the year for this new clan. Feel free to leave any suggestions down below of what you think this clan should name themselves. All the cats in the clan will be debating the name, so it would be rather fitting for some of your suggestions to get in there. We'll see what the cats decide on. For some clarity in regards to what has happened in this world, is that a rather large world war broke out, resulting in mass destruction of many lands. In the heat of that, asteroids struck the Earth, bringing new bacteria and alien life with it, which is why there are some strange new plants and sicknesses out there. Other strange elements have also been introduced thanks to nuclear plants having been struck. Amongst other science labs and, unknown chemicals and bacteria being released, and perhaps even some strange science creatures being released as well. Due to all these things, humans have been wiped from the Earth, leaving only a few creatures that are now struggling to survive, many of which have begun to develop unique traits or mutations to help increase their chances of survival, which you guys have seen a little bit of. So essentially, I took a little bit of inspiration from My Little Pony, from what I've just randomly seen recently, which is the sense that there will be a select few different types for cats, such as your regular normal cats. Then there will be the ones with magic. Cats who have magic, I am going to have them, specialize in certain forms of magic that are limited. And then there are the cats who have physical traits of other things that give them certain abilities, such as one of Bright Bite's mates having water abilities. So in other words, she would be a cat that would have a fish-like tail instead of a cat tail and some gills. She's a water-related cat. And then there will be cats that have wings instead, and they can fly. So there will be some mutations kind of like those. I plan to do a little more in-depth guide yet at some point of the new cat types. I am also thinking of potentially doing some other clan-related animals, except, maybe have them be horses next time, or wolves. Within the same world, but in a different land, so they don't really cross, but, they do exist in this new world and are also trying to figure out how to survive. If you guys would like to see, some animals out there trying to live life based off of Clangen, let me know. I'm considering, wolves or dogs, horses. I do have actually a horse Clangen type coming out soon. I'm going to be trying to do a couple of these back to back, so you guys always get a little something going on. Could do one for rabbits, could do one for deer, maybe sheep, maybe lions. Just let me know what kind of animal you'd like to see cross over with this. Maybe even dragons. I might do one with different types of dragons, or just, maybe an overarching thing of just mythical creatures in general. I am not entirely sure which one I'm going to go with entirely next, so I would love to hear your guys' input on it. So that is some of the stuff I have planned coming, and I am hoping to work on a couple of these at the same time, so there'll always be something posting, so you guys get a few more regular posts than usual, or, than I have before. But we will have to wait and see. Also, apologies for any of these videos sounding a little odd for the next little bit. I did just have pneumonia, and I'm still getting through it, so my voice is still a little bit off sometimes. But with that said, thanks for stopping by. It's been great having you all here again, and I look forward to all your thoughts and opinions on what could be coming up. And with that, I will see you guys next time.